Right. So Ring Magazine posted this, I think after we recorded. It's a photo of Turkey and Eddie Hearn. And it's in response to Dana White and Eddie Hearn's beef that's been going on for the last few weeks. Obviously, started by the Conor Benn signing, and then Eddie Hearn and Frank Smith started a matchroom talent agency where they just represent athletes, and they signed Tom Aspinall, UFC heavyweight champion, first, which is really chess, not checkers. I mean, that is awesome. They're going to see every UFC deal that gets put to Tom Aspinall now. So when fighter pay gets brought up later on, Eddie's going to be a well-educated man. But um, Ring Magazine posted, while speaking to the Ring, Turki Al-Sheikh said, Eddie Hearn, come and put your head on the chest of your father. I will give you a warm hug. The world is filled with evil people. Which is just a bit weird.
Mm.
My first reaction to that is just, what's the point of it? It's, it's not, I mean, I don't really understand what I've just read to you people. It's sort of, I mean, it's obviously suggesting that Turkey owns Eddie. That's fine. We kind of get that. I don't know if it's a joke or not, but if it is a joke, it's badly timed because we are also seeing Queensbury suing TKO and Seller and therefore Turki Al-Sheikh. And now Turkey's insulting Eddie, who's having a pretty heated argument and business disputes with Turki Al-Sheikh owned Zuffa. Or, well, Turkey doesn't own Zuffa, but Turkey involvement in Zuffa. So I'm very confused by why that's been done. It to me it feels like we're going to go back to promoters doing their own separate thing, but Ring Magazine and Zuffa will just promote their own stuff.
Mm.
And they'll just report news, but clearly in a very biased manner because they evidently Ring Magazine is not impartial anymore. That's I mean that's clear as anything. Yeah, I just want to bring that up. Dana White and Eddie Hearn not being rivals is ridiculous from both sides. Dana White needs to understand that he's a very good promoter at MMA, but the first four Zuffa shows do not compare to what Eddie Hearn's been doing this year, right? Or what Frank Warren's been doing. He is bang on about Top Rank. Top Rank are sadly a dying promotion. I don't know what's going on with them. Don't know what their plan is. I'm really not sure. But like,
I actually saw something quite interesting. So their PR lady is no longer a top ranked PR lady. So that is interesting, and it's a small thing, but it just shows where they're at. Maybe with everything going on.
It could well be to do with the fact that Bob Aaron's legacy
is nearly 100 years old as well.
Exactly. Maybe this is just the end of Top Rank for actually a good reason rather than anything else. And it's not that their fighters aren't getting onto shows, so I wouldn't be too worried. But yeah, with Eddie and Dana, look, Eddie will appreciate, and if he doesn't, then he needs to, that Dana White is going to have a large share of boxing or of a boxing audience. They've signed about 200 fighters already. Not all of them have been that great, obviously, but they've signed about 200. They've taken Conor Benn and Joe Pataia. They're the big names. They've got Boachuk. They've got some decent fighters. The roster's getting better for them. So Eddie does need to appreciate they are obviously going to be a rival, and I think he will do. I think he does. But if Dana White is serious that he doesn't consider Eddie Hearn as a rival, Zuffa haven't done anything extraordinary or like anything out there really. The only thing they've done is they've got their own belt. Matchroom could do that tomorrow. Matchroom could get someone to make up a belt that honestly looks like a WWE belt and just go, cool. And then they're the same as Zuffa, except they're better because the quality of their shows is better. So I think they both need to appreciate it. It's sad that, not 4 years, 5 years on from when we were seeing promoters working together, having the 5v5s, having all of this going on, that we're now seemingly at a place where people are unwilling to work with each other again, and therefore fighters are not going to get the best opportunities. but kind of expected, I think. I mean, we've been saying for years about the Saudi boxing bubble eventually popping. Has it popped?
Saudi are definitely Saudi have not been earning a lot of money from their shows. I've heard that from multiple people that have worked on the cards in or like have been involved with Saudi, but the cards are not how do I put it? The cards are not you know, earning the money that they need to earn. And I think they've not profited for a long time. So yeah. I mean,
it's bang on. So that's why they've partnered up with the likes of Dana White.
The Paramount deal's huge.
Exactly. That's what I was going to say. The fact that Dana White got that Paramount deal is almost definitely got that deal on the basis of boxing being involved as well, which clearly it was always going to be. Will Dana White and Zuffa be bigger than Matchroom, do you think? Do you think they'll get there?
Never. Look, I never say never, actually. Never say never. But Dana White could be big. However, the problem you've got is Matchroom's an engine that's been going on for years. It could take years before we see them level of results.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. So
I still think Zuffa should change their name, by the way. So I know this is random. I just hate that name. Please change it. If you know.
Why didn't they ever call it UBC?
UBC sounds good.
Ultimate Boxing Championship.
Yeah, even that's better. I mean, that's just a rip-off of UFC, but I like that. That's much better.
It's their brand, though, isn't it?
UBC, yeah, exactly. UFC. Exactly. You know exactly what it is. I don't mind.
And you can use the same logo and take off because you own the rights to the logo and take away the
use the same belts, everything. But no, they've gone with some.
I think you'll see a few UFC fighters crossing over to Zuffa as well because they're seeing the money that they can earn.
100%. Well, that's an interesting point that we can quickly raise as well. Is that the UFC obviously have had their White House card, and we're not, necessarily an MMA channel, but it's been disappointing for everyone who's expecting Conor McGregor, John Jones, all of these lot, and they've got a good main event in Topuria Gaethje, and then all the other fights I can't even remember. And a lot of UFC fans in the comments, and you guys can absolutely obviously go and see this, are saying, yeah, it's the money that's gone into boxing. That's why we're not getting a good card here. And you've got Ronda Rousey suggesting that Paramount basically control what Dana does. He is sort of just a front man now. There's a lot of leaking holes in the Zuffa, Dana White, UFC triangle. We're gonna see how that plays out. I think that's going to end up being a huge. That fighter pay stuff is going to be a massive issue.